This is an NBC Sports presentation.
Today, two of the best teams in the Eastern Conference of the SWAC will battle to keep pace and see who might represent the SWAC in the championship game. Alabama A&M is led by Coach Anthony Jones, and he'll look to run the ball with senior running back Jeremiah Bonds, who leads the SWAC with 93 yards rushing per game. Alabama State defensive coordinator Tony Pierce will run the show for Coach Charles Coe, and they'll try to stop the run with strong linebacker play from Marcus Lynn and Rock Dillon. Who'll win this one? Both teams looking to step up and make their claim, and it's next. It's the 62nd Magic City Classic from Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, and they've been tailgating for 2 days. A capacity crowd expected here for this 62nd Magic City Classic as Alabama A&M, ranked 7th in our NBC poll, takes on the Hornets of Alabama State. They are ranked number 5 in this week's poll. Hello again, everyone. I'm Charlie Neal, and welcome to Birmingham, Alabama. What a roller coaster ride this has been for Alabama State this season. Let's take you back to August when former coach L.C. Cole and 2 of his assistants were suspended by the school after internal investigations. Then just 2 days before practice was supposed to start, they bring in Charles Coe as an interim head coach. Well, last week, Charles Coe was admitted to a hospital with chest pains. He did not participate in the game last week on the sidelines against Prairie View. He will not be here on the sidelines this afternoon. That means defensive coordinator Tony Pierce takes over. And for the former Georgia assistant, it's been an emotional week.
Right now, that's exactly what we've been saying. We're a team. Let's stay together as a staff and a bunch of players right now. Let's not point to any individuals. Let's stay together. Any mistakes that are made out on the field, point to ourselves or point to me.
Now let me bring in my partner, Jay Walker. And Jay, when you talk about all of the things that Alabama State's been through, they still managed to be 5-2 and on top of the Eastern Division. How have they been able to do it?
Yeah, the question is, I've had to study and research this, and here's the reason why. They've got a good defense, a great running game on offense, and they own the red zone. If they get the ball inside their 20-yard line, they know how to put points on the board. And as an offense gets inside their own 20-yard line on defense, they know how to keep you out. That's the making of a great football team.
And that for Alabama A&M, it's a must-win for them. They can ill afford to lose 3 games in the conference so far this year.
And if the phrase is true that defense wins championship, then Alabama A&M personifies it. They've got one of the best defenses in all of 1AA football. Take a look at their ones to watch today. Jeremiah Bonds, the running back, has to be the spark plug on offense. He's got to find a way to hit pay dirt in the end zone. And Levernonte Turner is a great football player. He's got to play big, just like he did last week.
It was a 3-point game a year ago. We expect it to be close again today. Stay with us. Kickoff when we come back.
I'm expecting to see real faces of real African Americans and their real stories.
People don't necessarily have a lot of faith in the local police district.
Witness intimidation is not just a crime.
President Bush is working on significantly increasing
leave military towns behind.
For news and information from an African American perspective.
I'm Val Bracey.
And I'm Gordon Graham.
Watch NBC Network News weekdays at 7 p.m.
You are wrong, Zoid. Your ray is no match for Lord Gorlock.
Excuse me? Did you know that Geico settles many car insurance claims in 48 hours or less?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Impressive, Green One.
Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola.
set up in the eye on this, the last play of the game. And here's the snap. Hand off to the tailback. Peterson tries the right side. Wow, what a hit. But he stays on his feet, and he's broken to the outside, and it's wide open. Touchdown. Give him a touchdown.
Back here in Birmingham, Alabama, our SWAC game of the week, Alabama A&M and Alabama State at Legion Field at the 62nd Magic City Classic. Charlie Neal along with Jay Walker also joining us. Rob Jones, he's down on the sideline. Let's go down to Rob now.
Hey, Charlie and Jay, the Magic City Classic is nothing but a big old party. 60,000 fans are expected to pack Legion Field. Another 100,000 flocked to Birmingham, and a lot of them got an early jump on the festivities. They're tailgating outside, as you mentioned earlier, Charlie. And let's talk about the history of this program. These two teams, they're no strangers to each other. 29-29-3 since 1940. Last year, Alabama A&M eked out a 23-20 win. Expect another great ball game in the 62nd Magic City Classic.
All right. Well, I tell you, it's hard to get a place to stay around Birmingham this weekend. Not only is the Magic City Classic going on, you have Alabama playing Tennessee State down the road in Tuscaloosa, and then Tennessee State is in town to take on Sanford. So quite a big weekend here in Birmingham.
Yeah, and it's only right. You come to Alabama, you know that it's a college football environment. It's college football state, and we're here right in the middle of all of it. And this is the place to be, though. Make no bones about it. Birmingham, Alabama is the place to be right now. Magic City Classic, one of the best venues in all of black college football.
And Alabama A&M in their white jerseys. They're the visitors today. They will be kicking off. Alabama State in the black jerseys with the gold letters and gold helmets will be on the receiving end. And it comes down to the 6-yard line on the return for Alabama State. A good return, and all the way up across the 45 to the 46-yard line for Alabama State is Desmond Foster. And so that gives Alabama State great field position early in this contest. First down and 10 for the Hornets. And they're going to mark the ball right at about the 48-yard line, their own 48. So you can't start in better field position than that. Let's look at the quarterback for the Hornets of Alabama State, Tavares Jackson. He is a redshirt sophomore, transferred from Arkansas. Had a little banged up ankle earlier in the year against Southern University, but he's the quarterback of record. First down and 10. Holmes is the fullback going in motion. And back to pass on first down as Jackson has a man out there. In and out of the hands. He dropped it. Chad Lucas couldn't hold on. He would have had 6.
Oh, he's got to have 6 in that case there.
And let's look at the backs and receivers. You look at Chad Lucas there. Just dropped the pass. The back, Keldrick Williams, a good one. 6 yards per carry. Lee Carter. Brandon Harris is the wide receiver. Clifton Cotton is the tight end. They only have one tight end on their team. The offensive line, Wilkerson, Rosette, Kerry Nagel is the center, and Antonio Bradford, along with Kevin Harris. The starting lineups brought to you by Chrysler. Chrysler Pacifica goes well beyond SUV. Second down and 10. Full house backfield. High formation. And now they keep the ball on the ground. Keldrick Williams. And he's inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line before he is made to be stopped after about an 8-yard gain on the play. As you look at the defensive line for Alabama A&M that consists of Malasta Hill, Ali Hassan, Gerald Harris, and Fernandez Shaw. The linebackers, Henry Roberson, a true freshman. He is a good one. He is the number 2 tackler on the team. Lionel Macklin and Wesley Bynum are the linebackers. The secondary, we'll have Henry Freeman, who's back after getting hurt in the season opener. And on third down, the quarterback decides to roll. He wants to throw. He's going to be dropped for a loss. He couldn't get away on that far sideline from Fernandez Shaw, who closed down quickly. As we look at the secondary for Alabama A&M, Henry Freeman is back, as I said, along with Martell Holt. We talked about Levinante Turner, and Reggie Johnson's the other cornerback. So to bring up a fourth down punting situation. You look at the deep man for Alabama A&M. That's Nick Wells. And the punter drops the ball. Now he picks it up, and he's going to be dropped back at the 40-yard line. The 40-yard line.
That's unbelievable there. We talked about Alabama State having great special teams, but here the punter just drops the ball. It's a perfect snap, and Brothwell just drops it. It's right there in his hand. Got a little nervous, must have been looking downfield. Settle down, young men. We always tell these guys when you play in these classics in front of these large crowds, whichever team calms their nerves first and can relax is generally the team that wins a football game.
So therefore, after that big loss of 14 yards, that'll be Johnny Keith's turn to run the offense for Alabama A&M, and Coach Anthony Jones, as they get the ball in pretty good field position, right at about the 40-yard line, 1st down and 10. Keeping the ball on the ground. Here's Bonds. Bonds turns it upfield and gets down to the 25-yard line. 1st down and 10 after a 15-yard gain on the run by Jeremiah Bonds. Here you see the backs and receivers. Jonathan Rowland is the fullback who blocks for him also, along with Martin and Wells. They're the wide receivers. DeShalen Barber gets to start at tight end. Jacob Wilson is suspended for 1 game for throwing a punch in the last outing. Here's the offensive line with Lewis, Leslie, Smith, Jamal Henry, and Jonathan Woodard. Brought to you by Chrysler, the starting lineups. In motion is Nick Wells. Second back through. Again, they give the ball to Jeremiah Bonds, and he is stopped by the defense. No gain. Mario Lane, Jimmy Parham, Timmy Parham, and Myrex Coles, the twins, Parham brothers up front. A good linebacker, Rock Dillon, Billy Gresham, and Marcus Wynn. And the secondary, Erland Sanders. He's been almost everything in the secondary this year, along with Richard Rowe, Jamal Fletcher, and Antoine Hill. It'll be 2nd down and 10. The throw, an out pattern, and is caught for about a 5-yard gain on the far sideline by Nick Wells.
Yeah, that's part of the reason, part of the problem with Alabama A&M, why they haven't been able to jumpstart this offense. You saw Wells was open in the flat. Keith's got to throw a more deliberate ball where he doesn't have to fall down after the catch. If he could have kept his footing, he could have rushed easily for the 1st down. They've got to become more accurate passers. Plays like that frustrate coordinators, and if whoever can get more accurate can be a great quarterback to take over this team, but they got to find a way to score some points today.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. From the shotgun. Pass out in the flat, and it is complete. So Alabama A&M gets the 1st down with the tight end, DeShalen Barber, on the receiving end. Now flag after the play. These two teams, I don't think, like each other too well. You were at the luncheon yesterday, and they got into a little match, not pushing match, but a little rivalry type thing at the luncheon, right?
Yeah, it didn't take much to get them going. All they did was show highlights from last year's game. And once they saw that, personal foul going to be assessed to Alabama State. But once they saw the film from last year's game, everybody was saying, well, that's not going to happen this year. And the other guys are saying, yes, it is going to happen. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Next thing you know, they had to come in there and get peace in there.
Jimmy Jones is our referee today, assigned by the Southwestern
foul. Automatic 1st down.
So the personal foul goes against Alabama State. So it'll be 1st and goal for Alabama A&M, right at about the 5-yard line. Bonds has the ball. Bonds is dropped immediately after no gain on the play. And it was Gresham on the stop, the linebacker, number 53.
One thing that's tough to do is to run at Alabama State. They've got some of the best linebackers in the conference, and Gresham and Wynn and Dillon. Those guys just make tackles. So Alabama A&M was looking forward to playing State because typically Alabama A&M is the smallest team on the field. In this case, they're about evenly matched up, so they're trying to do a little power run in there, but you can't run straight ahead, not at those guys.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and goal from the gun. And now the quarterback wants to keep it. Keith trying to turn the corner. He will not get there. Chased down again by Gresham. Also getting help from Timmy Parham, the defensive tackle, number 94. There you see him there. He's a preseason first-team All-Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Yeah, and Timmy Parham does a great job of keeping the pursuit on. He's going outside, and by him continuing to run and chase him down from the backside, he took away that cutback lane. Good effort by Timmy Parham of just hustling. That's called having that engine always running all the time.
There you see the stats on Timmy Parham from Atlanta, the junior, red shirt. Came in with 9 for losses, 4 sacks. And he's also recovered a fumble this year. 3rd and goal at the 5 for A&M. So now a timeout is being called by Alabama A&M. They want to talk things over as Johnny Keith comes over the sideline, the sophomore out of Mobile, Alabama. There's a timeout on the field. No score here. 10-12 remaining in the first quarter. As you look at Anthony Jones, and we'll be right back. Back here in Birmingham, Alabama, at the 62nd Magic City Classic. Charlie Neal along with Jay Walker. Rob Jones, as you look at Anthony Jones, his second year as the head coach of Alabama A&M. He had his team in the championship game a year ago where they lost to Grambling Tigers, and his team now facing a 3rd and goal at the 5-yard line of Alabama's fate. And here's Jeremiah Bonds going to the left side. He's trying to turn the corner, and he's knocked out of bounds right at the 1-yard line. Good pursuit by Richard Rowe, the strong safety, who came up and then got help from some of his teammates.
Yeah, that was great team defense. What you'll see here is just everybody doing their job, getting the assignment. Bonds tried to turn on the Jets, but like Hornets out there in the wild, one Hornet can't kill you, but a swarm of them can take you out. That's right. Good team defense by the Hornets swarming to the football.
Antoine Hill was the man who finished him off. It'll bring up a 4th and goal at the 2-yard line now, and that'll bring on the kicker, Richard Kyler, who is 6 of 10 in field goals this year. This will be a 15, I'll make that a 20-yard field goal attempt. Kyler's kick is up, and it is good. So Alabama A&M takes the scoreboard first this afternoon. They lead it 3-0 on the 20-yard field goal, and we'll be back. 3-0 our score here on the field goal by Kyler. And for Mr. Kyler, that is his 7th field goal of the year. He hit a 48-yarder earlier. Kicking off, though, is Jose Osorio for Alabama A&M. This will be Rowe fielding it right at the goal line. Out across the 15. And another good return for Alabama State. They're out to the 30-yard line, their 2nd possession of the afternoon. Jay?
As we take a look at our keys to victory, brought to you by Air Postal. For Alabama State, you have to have great special teams play. We saw that earlier where they had a great kickoff return, but the punt team failed them. They've got to rush for at least 150 yards today in order for them to win, control the clock, and on offense, they've got to score. If they get into a shootout, Alabama A&M cannot score enough points to keep up with them. Keys to victory brought to you by Air Postal.
First down and 10. Their own 30. Williams. The running was rough for him in there, maybe a yard, and that is it.
You know, what you're seeing now is the fact that when Alabama State came out early and they dropped that pass, that changes the defensive coordinator's whole mindset. They say, hey, these guys can't even catch the ball if they're wide open. We can play man-to-man coverage on them, and we can get that 8th man into the box to stop the running game. You know that Alabama State has one of the best rushing offenses in the SWAC. They're kind of loaded up with 8 guys around the line of scrimmage to swarm to the football.
They're ranked number 1 in rushing in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, averaging 205 yards per game. Back to pass. Throwing it out in the flat. And it's complete. Great move for a first down is Keldrick Williams. And that is his 7th reception of the year. And he gains about 12 on the play.
Yeah, we go to the keys to victory for Alabama A&M. Brought to you by Air Postal as well. For A&M, they've got to find a way to get the ball to Bonds. Take stock in Bonds. He's a great football player. You saw that on the first bus. The defense cannot fail me now. D don't fail me now, like an old song. The defense is number 1. They got to play number 1. They've got to get great steady play from the quarterback position, Donnie Keith, today.
And again, they keep the ball on the ground with Williams on the carry, and Martell Holt was the man defensively who came up to make the stop there. You see him, number 15 there, senior out of Huntsville, Alabama. Bronski Towns is the defensive coordinator for Alabama A&M, and they've done a great job. Here's a team that's ranked number 8 in the nation in total defense. That is Alabama A&M. So you just don't push them around. Back to pass. Here's Jackson. Throws, has it complete. Right inside the 40, down to about the 37-yard line, and Chad Lucas didn't drop this one. He dropped the easy one and held on to the hard one.
You know, that's what happens every now and then. And you know why? It's because you have to concentrate so much harder on this ball here when you go up. Good job of getting here. Now watch him gear down in the zone. Stop running a little bit, gear down, go up high, catch the ball. I like that because you're going to hit the ground anyway. Might as well come down with the football. Good job of making it up by Chad Lucas, 6'2", 190-pound senior that can make catches like that.
18 yards on the catch by Chad Lucas. 1st and 10, Alabama State. And here's Keldrick Williams carrying the defender inside the 25 down to about the 23-yard line. He had Leverante Turner on his back, and Leverante went for a ride.
Oh, yeah, he did. He took him for a ride because they're a great running back there with a great offensive line, helping them get that extra push there.
Here are the standings in the SWAC after that 14-yard run. Alabama State on top 3-1. And that's the Eastern Conference standings. Jackson State 2-1, and Alabama A&M 2-2. So it's a big game for the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. They cannot afford to have their 3rd loss in the conference this year. Here's a little fade pattern, and it's a touchdown for Brandon Horace for Alabama State.
Beautiful.
Little fade pattern. Boy, you couldn't have thrown it any better, Jay.
I couldn't have thrown it any better. Beautiful play call, and you can't draw it up any better than this. One-on-one coverage on the outside. Brandon Horace, he's 6'5", 215 pounds, extended himself one-on-one. Ball was just thrown. Called that, putting it in the right corner pocket of the short pocket there. Beautiful throw by Tavares Jackson, and I like the way Horace did a good job of shooting off the defender.
And the point after is up, and it is good by Anthony Johnson. And it's a 7-3 ball game. As you look at Anthony Johnson, who has only missed 1 point after this year, he is 29 of 30. But what a drive for Alabama State, a 70-yarder.
Yeah, you take a look here. Look at the throw, and look where he throws the ball. He's supposed to throw that ball 5 yards in from the sideline, and that's exactly where he put it. Good fade route there. One-on-one covers in the outside, and that's a matchup they have to exploit. Henry Freeman just coming back in the second game this year, but Brandon Hortz is a big target, easy to throw to.
And here's our NBC Black College Sports Page Top 10 poll. Only one change in the top 10 this week as Southern, Grambling, Hampton, Bethune, and Alabama State all maintain their position. Bowie 7-2, 5-0 in the CIAA East. Comes in at number 10. Florida A&M fell out. Everyone else won last week except Tennessee State, who lost to Jacksonville State, and South Carolina State, who lost by 3 to Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, you know, the big question right now is who's playing better football, the best football in Black College. And a lot of people say so Southern Jaguars, but Grambling saying, hold on, wait a minute. We're the defending champs, so it's growing up to be special. And how about Bowie State cracking the top 10? North Carolina A&T still one of the best stories in Black College football.
At the 10-yard line, on the return for Alabama A&M is Wells, Nick Wells. There you look at Hars. The touchdown pass, Brandon Hars. You see the stats on him. Now he has 5 touchdowns to his credit so far this season. He's a sophomore out of Montgomery, Alabama. Longest was 44. You look at Tony Pierce. He was an assistant at Wake Forest. He was an assistant at Georgia last year. Was not working at the time Charles Coe got the job at Alabama State and was just floating around. And he said, when Charles called, I had to come. And there's a counterpart, his second year as the head coach of the Bulldogs, Anthony Jones. From the 13-yard line, they keep it on the ground. Jeremiah Bonds. It looked like he was going to have something going there for a minute before Jamal Fletcher came up there and said, no, you're not.
Exactly, and that's what you have to do. Once those little running backs get through the line of scrimmage, make them feel it. Watch the punish and blow here. Bonds does a good job of the vision of explode through the hole, and then watch him coming in and wipe him out there. Good collision, drive through him, push him backwards. That's an open foot tackle, and he's talking to him at the bottom of that pound, Charlie. I saw him.
6-yard gain on the play, 2nd down and 4 as you look at Jamal Fletcher there out of Labadeville, Alabama, senior. 2nd down. Bonds again, bounces to the outside. Boy, what a great open field tackle that time by Timmy Parham.
Timmy Parham's got that engine. I mean, Bonds was by him, and he did a shoestring tackle. That's what you call. It's almost like he tripped him up. Parham's got that motor running. You'll see Bonds explode out here to the right. But watch Parham come in here. The big fella there, just lean and get him. How do you do it? You get 6'3", 290 pounds to catch that little 180-pound scat back. You got to get him low.
And Jamal Fletcher was happy because he said, if he gets around you, I've got a lot to pay for. Well, they do a good job on Bonds that time. And again, Fletcher was right there. Fletcher's still talking to him.
Hey, that's what it is. You know, you're going to have certain matchups. Fletcher's the run stopper for this defense, and Bonds is the go-to guy, so they're going to be in each other's ear all day long. And what happens, the stuff that you don't see there is around the 3rd or 4th quarter, whoever stops talking has lost the battle.
He certainly has. Been bothered by a hip pointer, that is Jeremiah Bonds, even though he's leading the conference in rushing, averaging 86 yards a game. Came into the game with a 5.8 per carry average and 10 touchdowns. So he doesn't mind getting into the end zone. On the delay, they give it to the fullback, Jonathan Rowland, and Jonathan Rowland picks up maybe a couple of yards, and that'll bring up a 3rd down situation. And we talked to Coach Pierce about how strong that Alabama State defense is.
So, first of all, the turnover ratio. We have to make sure that we secure the ball offensively, and we try to create some turnovers on defense, interception, fumble recovery. We have to try to strip the ball out of their running backs and receivers' arms. Then you go to special teams. Special teams are important. They've been doing a great job on their punt blocks. We had a couple of punt blocks in our punt return team last week, and that's what we're going to try to do towards our offensive guys. They have to try to do their part as well.
And so the defense kind of let him down that time as Travis Martin gets wide open, the senior from Columbus, Georgia, with his 30th catch of the year. It was good for 32 yards and a 1st down all the way across midfield into Alabama State territory at the 41.
Yeah, Alabama State's being very aggressive defensively, playing one-on-one coverage man up because they don't think A&M can throw the ball. The difference between a good offense is they would have scored. He had 5-yard separation on the defensive back. That should have been a touchdown. Instead, it's a 32-yard completion. Good offense, great offense. Now you see a perfect example right there.
On the option play, the quarterback, Keith, decides he's going to keep it, and he's not going to gain anything. Maybe a yard, and that's about it. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. Down to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, this is one of those games right now where the tempo is favoring Alabama State. You know, A&M kicked the field goal. State came back and scored 7. If they keep it up tempo and force A&M to have to score points, that's taking them out the element. A&M wants to win this game 16-13, something like that. Alabama State wants to win this game 35-27.
But Alabama A&M does score points. Both teams averaging 32, 33 points a contest. So we might see a high-scoring affair here today.
I believe you will, because they just know each other.
Oh, what a hit. Boy, he is sacked from behind. He never saw Ron Dillon coming.
And that's the wrong guy to take your eye off
was
of.
That 74? Who was that, 47 or 74? Was that Himmons that came in there with the sack? Number 74 there. Union Springs, Alabama, and there is Ron Dillon. Let's see which one got him.
As you come in there, it just looks like that's going to be Dillon coming around there from the blitz, blitz right there.
Yeah, that's what it was. Rock Dillon, 9-yard loss on the sack.
They brought the blitz, and that's one of those ones where the quarterback, that's your fault. Anytime a linebacker tackles you in the blitz protection, you have to know who your hot receiver is. He missed his hot read, and he paid the price.
26 sacked, 214 yards in sack yardage for Alabama State's defense, and that's only the 6th time this year that Alabama A&M has been sacked. So with 3:34 to go, we're in the first quarter of play. Don't forget, NBC Network News is the urban voice for news and information that impacts the African-American community. You can get the facts and also a comprehensive analysis of issues facing our world. Watch NBC Network News. It comes your way weeknights at 7 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 p.m. Eastern right here. Charlie Neal along with Jay Walker, Rod Jones here in Birmingham for this Magic City Classic, and people still filing in. You know, they've been tailgating for 2 days out in the parking lot, and some people just don't want to leave those ribs alone, do they?
I mean, you know, and I was trying to get some of those before the broadcast there.
Pig feet,
chitlins, everything there. I mean, it's something else. You know, we were here in the production meeting yesterday, and they were cooking out and playing dominoes. I was like, the game's not till another 36 hours. They said it doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter at all.
I mean, they tailgate. They don't just bring the barbecue pit. I mean, they bring the barbecue stand with them and set it up in the parking lot, and they get it going on out there. And, you know, look at the crowd and the atmosphere.
Right. This drive started at their own 13-yard line for Alabama A&M. This will be the 8th play of the drive, and they're across midfield, but a 9-yard loss on the last sack brings up a 3rd and long. Another quarterback is in there, and that's Rod Stevens, transfer from Cincinnati, and he's upended and fumble, and is picked up. Let's see if they call it down. The officials are whistling it dead. They're whistling it dead. The ball was picked up on the return by Alabama State, but it's not going to count. That was Rayvon Butler who came up with the ball, number 37, but let's see if they're going to give it to Alabama State. But it was a new quarterback in there for that play, and that is Rod Stevens.
Rod Stevens is a real mobile quarterback. That's why they brought him in the game, and that's a coaching point there. You teach the kids out there, you know, when you leave your feet, you know, you got to come down, you got to land, and bad things can happen. Yeah, this isn't basketball. You want to stay on that ground there, and he left his feet in the fumble, and he got lucky. It wasn't called a fumble, but I think the referees got it right.
So they're going to punt it away, and this will be from the 44-yard line. They did say it was a 4th down situation, and now timeout's being called, and this one about Alabama State. So both teams have used the timeout here in the first quarter.
Yeah, what they do here is just do a quarterback sweep on the outside, get everybody downfield running. They needed long yardage, and he's going to leave his feet. Once he leaves his feet, he's exposed. He got the block downfield. He jumps over there, and that ball came out early.
That was a
fumble. They got lucky. They got lucky.
Yeah, that should have been ruled a fumble.
And a touchdown. It should have been a brutal fumble and a touchdown. But, you know, the officiating crew, they blew it on that one there, but that's why you don't leave your feet. When you leave your feet and you're exposed like that.
He lost that ball before he hit the ground. The ground doesn't cause the fumble, but he lost the ball when he was in the air, and that should have been a touchdown for Alabama State. I know Coach Charles Coe is watching, and we wish him the best and speedy recovery and get on back here. They missed you down there, although your assistant there doing a great job for you. That is Tony Pierce.
And these kids are truly playing for you as well. I mean, they said that everybody on the roster said, we're playing for Coach, we're going to make it happen.
Great punt there. Fair catch call for, but it'll go in the end zone. It'll be brought out to the 20-yard line. And that's where Alabama State will take over their third possession of the afternoon. Let's go down on the field and Rob.
Hey, Charlie, I have a special guest right here, Birmingham native Ruben Stoddard, and everyone knows him. He's America's idol. Ruben, how you enjoying the Magic City Classic?
It's wonderful, man. I'm having a great time today.
Now, it's no secret who you're pulling for.
Yeah, man, I went to Alabama A&M, and, you know, I've been attending this game ever since I was a little boy, and, you know, I've always been an A&M fan, and I went to the school, so, of course, I want the Bulldogs to win, baby.
Now, you've been to many of these games. Does this particular event seem like it's getting bigger and bigger every year?
I mean, well, it's always a very large crowd, but this year is, you know, they're expecting a sellout crowd. You know, I'm just excited, you know, that this classic is going on as strong as it is.
All right, thanks a lot, Ruben. Enjoy the game. Back to you, Charlie.
All right, that's Jay's favorite. That's one of Jay. You know, you just married Jay Blige, and there's Beyonce and all that. But Jay loves Ruben.
I mean, I got hooked. You know, I was a big Rube fan, and I was pulling for him every week.
All you are big people. I understand.
Yeah, you know, hey, I was calling up there. But hey, Big Rube is the man, though. He is the man.
Randolph was the man on the carry last time for Alabama State. And he gets the ball. Let's see, they keep the ball on the ground once again, trying to go right. And it'll be a 3rd down and 2 facing the Hornets. There you get is Robert Randolph out of Union Springs, Alabama. 6th leading rusher in this WAC. He started against Jackson State earlier this year because Keldrick Williams was late for practice one day. So, you know, when you mess up, coaches have that discipline thing going on.
Yeah, that's what it is. The team rules are there. You know, rules are there not to be broken. They're good. They're to keep everybody in line and on the same page. And as a coach, you got to live by the rules you set.
Forrest Jackson, the quarterback from the shotgun. 3rd down. Has some running room. Could pick up the 1st down, and he does. Across the 30 to about the 31-yard line is where they're marking.
You know, that's one of the good things. When you have a good offense that knows how to score a lot of points, you can tell they're never in 3rd and long situations. If you have 3rd and 2 and you have a pass call, the quarterback can scramble. You can throw a quick little pass. You can go for the home run ball. Good offenses put themselves in 3rd and 2 to 3 yards. They don't go for 3rd and 10. Like we saw A&M have to struggle and go for a 3rd and 15 when they should have fumbled the ball. But I like this Hornet team. 5
yards on that run by the quarterback, Jackson. That'll bring up a 1st down and 10. Lone setback is Randolph behind him, and Randolph has the ball. Scuttles through for a couple of yards up to about the 34-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 8.
You know, with that Alabama A&M Bulldog defense, they're not big at all, but they're very quick. They got a couple guys that would be wide receivers on other teams playing defensive line, but Coach Towns, as you mentioned before, does a fantastic job of utilizing that speed. And they've had a lot of coaches come in A&M throughout the years, but he's been consistent over the past 2 years because he knows how to get that defense revved up, ready to play. One thing about it, when you play the Bulldogs, you know you're in for a dogfight because defensively, they'll try and beat you up.
We're down to 40 seconds left in the 1st quarter. So it's gone pretty quickly with the running game here. And back to pass is Jackson. Looked like he wanted to set up the screen. Then he threw, and it goes incomplete on the near side. Alabama State throwing for Herman Easter, shooting out of Atlanta. 7-3 is our score. Clock stopped with 31 seconds to go. Alabama State started the season with a win over Florida A&M. That game played up in Detroit, and they lost to Bethune 31-26 down in Mobile, Alabama. They beat Alcorn 49-28. Arkansas Pine Bluff 24-22. Lost to Southern 35-10. Beat Jackson State 27-20 last week. Prairie View 59-7. There's a little screen out in the flat. And it goes to Justin Holmes. And Holmes gets the 1st down out to the 45-yard line, which...
Good job of the quarterback by selling that. You thought for sure he was getting ready to get sacked, but he was just baiting the defensive line to get a little bit closer to him. Good play calling selection. And Alabama Bulldog defense likes to be aggressive. How do you slow down aggressive pass rushing? With screen plays there. And that was all on the quarterback, Forrest Jackson. Good job of acting and setting that up.
15 yards to Justin Holmes, the junior college transfer from Scottsdale, Arizona. That's his 1st reception of the year.
That was a big one here in this game here, and they got a 1st down to keep the drive alive.
And that's going to be the end of the 1st quarter here in Birmingham at the 62nd Magic City Classic. As you look at the quarterback, Forrest Jackson, who's had a pretty good 1st half so far. He is 4 of 6 for 67 yards and a touchdown. We'll be back.
For the short, for the tall,
for the big, for the small,
for the day trippers,
for the sunbathers,
for the surfers,
for the divers,
for the ball players, for the fans,
for those who speak up, for those who stand out,
for the singers,
for the original, for the responsible,
for the kissers, for the committed,
for those who love you,
for those who love you not,
for those who love you a little,
for those who love you a lot, for the hot days, for the starry nights,
for the endless days of summer,
for all of us,
for everyone.
I joined the Navy because I had a plan. I wanted to work for myself.
The Navy taught me the discipline I needed to achieve that goal.
It gave me the strength, body, and mind.
And the knowledge to get ahead.
It was the building block for my success.
Today, I own my own business.
The Navy gave me more than just a strong foundation.
It gave me the courage I needed
to find the person in me.
Navy, accelerate your life.
What do people see in the new Chrysler Pacifica?
I see a man who knows where he's going in the world.
I see a rear tailgate that acts like a second set of hands.
I see a vehicle that fits our lives.
Introducing the Chrysler Pacifica, well beyond the SUV. Now, very well qualified lessees can lease Chrysler Pacifica for $339 a month with 0 down and $339 due at signing.
7-3 our score as we start the second quarter here from Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Alabama State 7-3 lead over Alabama A&M, and a first down and 10 for State at their own 45. Quarterback is Tavares Jackson working out of the shotgun. And we have movement, and it may be an offense false start. It is center or either the left tackle.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
With all the blitzing that Alabama A&M is doing, Alabama State quarterback Tavares is trying to call an audible, and the offensive line is trying to communicate there. And so many things going on, that's what forced him to jump off sides.
As you look at the stats for Alabama A&M and Alabama State in the passing department, 63-37. Now they keep the ball on the ground. Here's the quarterback. He's in trouble. He's not going to get away from the defense of Alabama A&M.
Fantastic job by the defensive line of Alabama A&M, just swarming to the football. They've got speed on the corners, and they got a little bit of size on the inside, but you take a look there, 293 pounds. That's small. In today's college football, for a defensive tackle, 293 pounds is not considered a big nose guard. But, hey, if you know how to move it, it doesn't matter, and that's what he knows how to do.
Right? They lose yards on the play, about 7. It'll be 2nd and 17. That's going to be a sack. Will not get away from the defense again. And Fernandez Shaw was in there on the stop.
You know, you take a look here, Fernandez Shaw is going to come here from his rushing speed position there, and he just beats him to the inside, and he keeps running. He had time downfield. That's one of those coverage sacks, but then they all come back and swarm the ball, and Shaw's there to finish it up. But there goes that big fella again, Kelvin Lockhart, the freshman from Florida, playing great. 2 back-to-back big plays, and I always tease the defensive linemen. They don't give you back-to-back big plays because they're so big, carrying around 300 pounds, but if you got that motor and you never stop, you can find things.
And you look at that stat, you see they've sacked the opposing quarterbacks more than any other team in this SWAC this past year. There's the quarterback jumping to the outside, picks up a great chunk of the yards that he had lost on the previous plays, but still not enough for a first down. And to bring up a 4th down and about 8 and a punting situation for the Hornets of Alabama State. Now to bring on Jason Rothwell.
Yeah, and anytime you see a long running play like that, somebody downfield made a block. And I want you to watch the right side of your monitor. You see the lead block there, but look at the wide receiver, what he does to his man. Go ahead, get him out of there. And look at this guy on the punishing block there. DB going down. Brandon Hoare, 6'5", using his 6'5", 215-pound frame well to help try and spring his quarterback. I love when I see wide receivers blocking down the field.
As well from the 15-yard line, trying to get to the corner. Spins away, still on his feet, gets a block, has something going down the sideline, and tripped up at the last moment. What a great tackle downfield to save a possible touchdown by Desmond Foster.
And Desmond Foster was there to save the touchdown, but I'm going to tell you, if you're Alabama State, you got some guys that got clocked. I like the fact that Watchwell set up the wall this way, and I want you to see this guy coming in from here, get to the guy and touch him. Look at the devastating block there by the Bulldogs. Good hit, Lindell Edwards there setting up the wall, and then after that, it's a trickle effect. Get to the wall down here, try and get down there. You see he had another block coming. He was going to pay dirt there.
A 40-yard punt and a 40-yard return. And it's 1st and 10 at the 40. A bunch of 40s on that play, huh? Here's the quarterback. Little play action, keeps it, and it's complete, that is, downfield. Great catch and run down the field for DeShalen Barber, the tight end.
Yeah, look at the bootleg. Once you go in there, you're caught. They got you. Get outside the pocket. Now, if he threw a little bit more accurate pass, he could keep running. This could be a touchdown, but Barber does a good job of slowing down, coming back, getting the catch first, and he didn't start running before he had the ball. But that's one of those throws where get it out in front of him, you got a touchdown. You know, it starts frustrating you time and time again, but I like the decision, and I never get mad with a quarterback taking completion.
33 yards on the catch and run by Barber. Travis Martin, the man in motion. Here's Bonds trying to cut outside. Cuts it back inside, back to the line of scrimmage. A lot of running, but didn't gain anything.
He's excited. I mean, he makes a no-gain play. He did a great job of getting just back to the line of scrimmage, but he still made 3 people miss during that one little simple run. That's why he's a special running back.
And he's going to come off for the sideline right now and take a breather. They also have a pretty good running back in Lanier Bush. As you look there defensively at Rock Dillon. He's like a coach on the field. He was the defensive player of the week against Arkansas Pine Bluff a couple weeks ago. 12 tackles from the shotgun. And they pick up a couple, and that's it down to about the 26-yard line.
Yeah, but your homeboy was there, Rock Dillon. You know, you're talking about guys, and I really don't think you can run at this linebacking core they've got. I mean, you know, they've got 2 of the top 5 tacklers in the SWAC in the linebacker core for Alabama State. They make tackles, they make plays, and they don't miss a lot of tackles. And Dillon is the key there. He's all over the place, and he's second lead tackler in the SWAC with 56 tackles and 5.5 sacks, and he added to his total today, so he's now got 6.5 sacks.
It certainly does. Talk about this Alabama State defensive team. Here's a team that's averaging 33.3 points per game, even though they're giving up 23-6. Here's a delayed ball. Here's Bonds bouncing to the outside. They swarm to him. They must have a spy on him. You know, I mean, it's like when he gets the ball, every black jersey out there, I don't care what else is going on the field, you go to number 36.
Yeah, I mean, because Alabama A&M, that's their best weapon, and they know they got to get Bonds involved. But I think what they did is they put some honey on the back of his jersey. You know, Hornets like getting the honey, and they swarm to it, so they've got his scent. They're tracking him down.
So from the 25-yard line, let's see, we'll try a field goal of about 42 yards for Alabama A&M's Rashard Kyler, who's hit a 48-yarder so earlier this year. From the 25. This one is up. It's long enough. And it is good. 42 yards on the field goal by Kyler, who kicked a 20-yarder earlier. So he has 2 field goals in the game and was a 1-point ball game, 7-6, with 10:01 to go in the first half. 1-point ball game here in Birmingham, Alabama at the 62nd Magic City Classic. 10:01 to go in the first half. Kyler's kicked a pair of field goals, 20 and 42 yards. And Alabama State, Jackson's 23-yard pass to Horace. And now Alabama A&M kicking off, Osorio kicking deep. And it'll come down to Richard Rowe at about the 8-yard line. Rowe trying to keep his balance and get outside. Fumbles the football. And Alabama A&M has it. The 19-yard line.
Good job of just hustling. I mean, you can't fault Rowe. Great effort trying to just get that extra yard, but so many times we see that extra yard cause a fumble there. Look at this. He absorbs the first blow, starts getting into the balance back. He didn't have time to switch balls in the hand. That's what happened. While he was trying to switch balls in the hand, he never got a good grip on it, and then there go those Bulldogs all over the place, and they hustle to get to the ball.
I think that was Wesley Bynum who forced that fumble there on the tackle. And Alabama A&M gets the great field position right now at the 19 of Alabama State.
Yeah, they got the great special teams play going on right now. Right now, they're winning the battle of special teams. They had a good punt return. Now they get the ball to their offense on their 20-yard line. They got to figure out a way, Alabama State, to win the special teams battle.
First down and 10 at the 19. Here's a new quarterback, Stevens, and Stevens dances to the outside, down to the 10 and out of bounds after a 9-yard gain. Close to a first down. At the 9 is where he goes out.
Yeah, he's a good athlete. You know, we talked to him in detail yesterday, and he transferred here to Alabama A&M after going to University of Cincinnati. And he's got a good release, and he can throw the football. So they probably anticipate him throwing the ball a little bit more. But now he's coming out here showing his athleticism, running the football.
His cousin is Earl Holmes.
Ooh, man. Earl tore me up, Charlie. When he went to FAMU, he tore me up something proper, as we say in football. He broke me off something.
Rod Stevens comes out, and Johnny Keith out of Mobile, Alabama, sophomore, comes back in. Keeping the ball on the ground. Going straight ahead and back to the line of scrimmage to quarterback Keith. And that's it. Rod Stevens looks like the man of the future. He's a redshirt freshman. No gain, second down, and goal.
You know, talk about Stevens, he's thirsty. You know, he was almost bugging me yesterday. You know, what drills can I work on? How can I do this? How can I do that? And I love it. I love it. That means that he wants to make it. He wants it bad enough. A lot of times you question how bad somebody wants it. There's no questioning how bad he wants it.
They've played all 3 quarterbacks this year. That is A&M. Here's a little fake pattern in the corner of the end zone. And it'll be incomplete, uncatchable by Darrell Weakley. Last year, Porter 12-yard touchdown pass with 26 seconds left in the half in this same game against Alabama State.
Yeah, and he's trying to relive some of that magic there down in the red zone. But the only person that had a shot at catching that ball was Big Rube over there on the sideline. That ball was thrown 5 yards out of bounds. Throw the ball in bounds. Give your wide receiver a chance to make a play, to jump up, get a pass interference call or something. But the ball's on the sideline. You got no chance at all.
In the red zone coming into this game, Alabama A&M 77%. 21 of the 27 times they've been in the red zone, they've scored 13 rushing touchdowns, 4 passing, and they kicked 4 field goals. They've kicked 2 field goals here this afternoon. Keith back to pass, rolls right, looking, has a man in the end zone, throws, knocked down at the last minute. A little late seeing him. If he'd have thrown it a second earlier, it's a touchdown, but Jamal Fletcher had enough time to get over there to put his hand on it and knock it down.
Yeah, I mean, you called it just right. And that's what happens as a quarterback when you stop looking downfield. You see the one-on-one camera on the ISO there on the outside, but what Keith was doing was everybody's a scramble play. And once you get a scramble play, you start looking for openings in the end zone. Keith got around there, started scrambling, moving, and Keith looked at the line instead of looking at the wide receiver, and that's why he wasn't able to get the ball to him a second early.
So Kyler on for his 3rd field goal of the afternoon. This one from 28 yards out, and that's a good one. He's kicked 3 and has given his team a 9-7 lead.
They'll get there by air. So can you. They'll get there by land. So can you. Either way you get there, the destination will be Birmingham, Alabama. Saturday, December 13th, the SWAC Championship returns to Birmingham, Alabama. The East and West champions will be there. Will you?
This for all my players out there riding. Spinners.
No one told us to constantly research and develop new ways to generate cleaner electricity.
Or maintain a 99.9% reliability rate, while at the same time keeping our prices 15% below the national average.
We do it because we live here.
Because we're customers too.
It's nearly 100 years of providing safe,
reliable, affordable power.
Simply by trying every day to be the best we can be.
That's why you can count.
You can count.
You can count
on Alabama Power.
9-7 is our score. 8 minutes and 11 seconds to go here from Birmingham, Alabama. Magic City Classic, Alabama A&M and Alabama State. And we'd like to welcome those who were watching the Morgan State-Delaware State game from Dover. Morgan State comes out victorious. They keep their hopes alive in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference with the win today. We welcome those to Birmingham. Tyler, who just kicked his third field goal of the day. This one coming down again to Rowe. Rowe bounces to the outside and it gets up to the 19-yard line. And that's where Alabama State will get the ball. First down and 10. Let's go down to Rod.
Hey, Charlie, you see these kids decked out in the blue T-shirts? They're part of the NBC Kids Corner, and they're all fired up. They're part of a group of kids that's being recognized nationwide from NBC and Dell Computers, and they received free transportation, free tickets to the Classic, courtesy of NBC and Dell Computers. The exposure to historically black universities and trying to empower these young kids through education, technology, and finance management, all because of NBC and Dell Incorporated. A great thing going on here in Birmingham.
Well, it certainly is, and thank you so much, Rob, and it's great to see that and how Dell has joined partners with NBC to make that happen, because education is the greatest thing you can have.
Yeah, and that's why we're here. You know, we always say we're not just showing you the games, we're making history, but we're also exposing these kids to the university as well, outside of athletics, but academics as well.
And we continue that motto of empowering, embracing, and impacting the community that we serve to the markets that we broadcast black college football. Second down and 9. Jackson stands in there, throws, has a man there, and it's complete. And has a first down. And on the reception, Reggie Glover out of Selma, Alabama. And it is a first down and 10 across the 30 to about the 33.
Yeah, way to attack. Watch him come into the zone right there. He's open for a long time. They get the ball to him. Great job. Two deep defense. You got to attack the middle of the field. Good job by Tavares Jackson to find the open guy there. Alabama State trying to get into their little rhythm a little bit on offense to score some more points.
First down and 10. Back to pass again. Looks over the middle and has it complete. He just stuck that in there for about a 6-yard gain.
You know, 6-yard gain, then he kept his feet going and added some more yardage to the end of that run there. You know, and the one thing has to be said here, Alabama A&M has had to settle for those field goals. They've got 9 points. If Alabama State gets this quick strike offense back on the board, one more touchdown, hey, they got 2 scores. Alabama A&M got 3. Difference between touchdown and field goals.
Just to recap for those who just joined us, the scoring, Kyler's 20-yard field goal with 10 minutes left in the first quarter made it 3-0. Then Jackson, a 23-yard pass to Harris, gave Alabama State a 7-3 lead. Kyler hit a 42-yard field goal. 10 minutes left in the second quarter, make it 7-6, and then made it 9-7 with a 27-yard field goal with 8:11 to go. And here's Keldrick Williams, gets the first down. Did he fumble? No, they say he's down. They're saying that he was down.
A little quick draw trap play. Alabama State has running back by committee. They got a big back, they got a small back, they got a little bit of everything. Keldrick Williams, 5'8", 205 pounds. He's the small back. This is just a quick little draw trap play. Make himself small, get through the hole. Then that ball got out of there again.
He certainly did.
That ball got out of there again. But that's the thing about it. Hey, A&M got away with one. Alabama State got away with one. Football has a funny way of evening things out.
It does. First down and 10 at their own 45. Alabama State. They came into the game averaging 205 yards rushing and scored 18 rushing touchdowns. With the passing touchdown today, they have 9 touchdowns through the air. Here again, the quarterback trying to get to the outside, and they've really kept that pretty much intact. Fernandez Shaw saying, hey, You're not coming my way.
Oh, Fernandez Shaw's a great football player. 6'2", 210-pound senior from Tacoma, Washington. I always tell people, you don't come all the way from the West Coast to go down south and travel all that far distance to sit on the bench. And he's like, I got to get off that bench to be a ball player. Even though he only started one game this year, he's their leading tackler for losses on the team just because he hustles. At 6'2", 210 pounds playing DN, you got to be just a motivated individual, because how do you take on 300-pounders?
And he was starting the season as a backup to Lieutenant Dukes, and he worked his way into the starting lineup right now. Started today. Here's Jackson going to the air. And it's complete. But it's not enough for a first down. And that'll bring up a third down situation for Alabama State. Third and about 8.
One of the things you talk about with Alabama State is, you know, how they managed to score all these points and all the stuff they had. Everybody's forgetting all the stuff that happened with the coaching staff. They had some talent. I mean, the state of Alabama is loaded with talent, and they had some talent, and they managed to keep it home. And these kids have done a good job of fighting week in and week out.
And we talked about some of the controversy they've had. And here's Jackson back to pass on third down, and it's knocked away. And getting his hands on it, I believe, number 90 wasn't there. Molasta Hill, yes, M. Hill out of Atlanta, defensive player of the game against Savannah State earlier this year. With all of the problems that Alabama State had, we talked about the fact that L.C. Cole was let go after an internal investigation. They even suspended 10 players from the team who they said didn't cooperate in the investigation. So they've had all kinds of adversity, and they're still playing well. They've got the wave going here, and here's a pretty good punt downfield by Alabama State's Rothwell, and it goes out of bounds right at about the 20-yard line. So after the punt, it'll be first down and 10 for Alabama A&M. They lead it 9-7. We'll be back.
It's not your typical boxing match. They're not your typical fighters. And the ballroom is not your typical setting. Welcome to the underground world of ballroom boxing, where the rookies earn their bragging rights and the veterans defend their turf. It's boisterous, classic, unparalleled matchmaking, and it all takes place on NBC Network. Ballroom Boxing premieres October 31st at 10 p.m. on NBC Network.
What do people see in the new Chrysler Pacifica?
I see a man who knows where he's going in the world.
I see a rear tailgate that acts like a second set of hands.
I see a vehicle that fits our lives.
Introducing the Chrysler Pacifica, well beyond the SUV. Now very well qualified lessees can lease Chrysler Pacifica for $339 a month with zero down and $339 due at signing.
They set up in the eye on this, the last play of the game. And here's the snap. Hand off to the tailback. Peterson tries the right side. Wow, what a hit. But he stays on his feet, and he's broken to the outside, and it's wide open. Touchdown. Give him a touchdown.
Back here in Birmingham, Alabama, 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining until halftime, and Alabama A&M leading it 9-7. And again, we're facing a first down and 10 for Alabama A&M. Back here in Birmingham, Charlie Neal, Jay Walker, Rob Jones with you. Glad you could join us for the 62nd Magic City Classic. And don't leave. It'll be a great halftime show between the two bands, Alabama A&M and Alabama State. Right now, Alabama A&M leading it by 2. Has the ball first and 10 at their own 20. And Jeremiah Bonds has been held pretty much in check. Nowhere to go as Timmy Parham comes up to make the stop.
Yeah, you know, Timmy's getting free, and he's playing a whale of a football game today. And, you know, maybe that's the benefit of having a twin brother on the other line. What you do down there in the trenches is Jimmy, you got Timmy and Jimmy. Just by one letter you're off. Doing my depth chart today, I said, well, if I don't put a hook on the bottom of this T, I got a J. So that's how close they are. They look alike, and they play well together as a unit. The Parhams hold it down there in the trenches in the inside. That's what you like to see.
Jeremiah Bonds, 28 yards of 9 carries today. He lost 2 on that last one, and this one was almost intercepted. Not a good pass that time, intended for Travis Martin, but there were 2 black jerseys around it. And one of the black jerseys around it was that man, Erland Sanders. Erland Sanders has been a terror on the defensive side of the ball this year. He's returned an interception for 22 yards for a touchdown against Alcorn. He returned a fumble for a touchdown. He returned a blocked field goal, 65 yards for a touchdown against Florida A&M, and he returned a blocked punt, 24 yards for a touchdown against Prairie View. So he's scored everywhere you can, except on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and he's not leaving anything out there. This is his senior year. His college career is ticking down. He's trying to get it all out his senior year, and that's the way seniors are supposed to play.
It is 3rd down from the shotgun. This should be intercepted, and it is. Oh, he dropped it. He dropped it. I thought he had it. Ravon Butler had it in his arms, couldn't hold on. He had a blocked punt against Prairie View last week, and that would have been his 2nd INT. But he's talking as he leaves the field. It doesn't matter. They're still going to have to punt it away. That is Alabama A&M, and that'll bring on Kyler to do the punting.
Yeah, those DBs, any chance they get for interception. Because DBs, they're in the football, in the locker room, they're the biggest stat sheet readers in all of football. QBs don't read stats that much, but defensive backs, did you get my tackle? Did you get my touch? Did you get that interception? That's all they look for. That's why we call them the showboats out there. They always want to see how they look, and they're the prettiest dressed guys on the field, the tape job and the spat and the towels and wristbands everywhere. Defensive back, quarterback's worst nightmare, and you can see why.
Yeah, because they pick off your passes.
I mean, they tried to. Yeah, they tried to, but, you know, who wants to be pretty? It's a football field. Nobody wants to be pretty on the football field.
The receivers are like that, too.
Not really.
Yes, they are.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. It remains 4th down.
As our referee, Jimmy Jones. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, the Battle of the Bands. You don't want to miss that. That's most of the people come in from their tailgating to see the Battle of the Bands. That'll be brought to you by Chrysler. Meantime, Kyler back to punt it away. Will field it right across midfield. Dances back, but he is leveled from behind. He did not see the freight train coming on the other side. He only looked one way when he got to the railroad crossing. But I'll tell you, that freight train in the form of Jamerson Baker was coming from the other direction. Let's go down to Rob Jones.
Hey, Charlie, earlier I talked about the NBC Kids Corner, where here are 2 members of the local sponsors for NBC's Kids Corner, Melanie Norman of the Northeast YMCA of Birmingham, and also Brett Moore of Black Voices Quarterly. And first, I'll stay with the ladies because that's what we do, ladies first.
Okay.
Melanie, just talk about how you guys are involved with NBC Kids Corner.
NBC Kids Corner was looking for a youth group to work with to let them be a part of the Magic City Classic, to give them the opportunity to come out and enjoy the festivities. So they gave us the opportunity to venture with them to bring out 50 young people to enjoy the Magic City Classic today.
And you have to be really proud because you're part of all of those young kids over there.
I am, and they're 9th through 12th grade students, and we prepare them for the next step to get to college.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks.
Brett, on the other side, you're doing your thing to help these kids with more exposure to historically black universities. Expound on that a little bit.
Well, absolutely. We think it's very important for kids, number one, to get interested in college in general, but specifically, we like to try to channel them toward historically black colleges and universities. And one of the things we find is that just getting them in the environment, in the atmosphere of some of these events, it's infectious.
Keeping these kids off the street, doing something positive, that's also a great thing.
Absolutely, and that's certainly one of the goals of Black Voices Quarterly magazine.
All right, thanks a lot. Brett Moore of Black Quarterly Voices magazine, and Melanie Norman of the Northeast YMCA here in Birmingham.
All right, thank you. And I'll tell you, if you really want to know what's happening in black college football, get a copy of the Black Voices Quarterly magazine. Here's the quarterback scrambling for the first down. That's Jackson inside the 35 to about the 32. That was a 3rd down 7 situation and a good scramble by the quarterback.
That was a fantastic scramble by the quarterback. What an athlete. You know, you always tease me and give me a hard time about how I could run. I was a good runner. You saw the difference here in a great runner, the athleticism. Now, I had the straight ahead speed, couldn't change directions that well. He did a good job of changing directions. And that 1st down was all him because the hole wasn't there, but he created one.
Yeah, if you'd have changed direction, you'd have broke your ankle.
Probably so. But I was like a freight train. I had that straight ahead speed, though. That straightaway, you weren't going to catch me. I always tell you that, Charlie.
That was a 10-yard run by Jackson. He's back to pass now on 1st down and 10. Looks, fakes. Now he takes off with the football. And he's not going to get away from Johnny Baldwin. Number 57 there to make the stop defensively.
You know, now he's getting a little foot happy. You know, he had wide receivers that were open, and he's getting foot loose, as we like to call it there. You got wide receivers open downfield.
May not be fancy free, though, if he keeps that up.
Exactly. Don't take the unnecessary punishment. You know, coaches are never mad when you get positive yardage, but they, instead of getting a 4-yard run, they want that 15-yard completion downfield.
1:08 to go. There's a timeout on the field. The award-winning Sports Lifestyles is back for another season right here on NBC. Cecil Fielder, Nicole Watson get up close and personal with stars such as Sammy Sosa, Ray Lewis, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, and other sports legends. The new season premieres October 31st right here on the NBC network.
Talk about Cecil Fielder, you know, he's down here for the environment, the atmosphere, and everything. And yesterday he got to model the throwback jerseys that both these teams are wearing today, and he got to model, and he's such a competitor. He said, you know what? I wonder if I shave and get all this stuff cut off, if coach will let me play. I got the jersey. You know, athletes just love to compete all the time.
Who was modeling the other jersey? You didn't say that.
The real deal, Evander Holyfield. Cecil and Evander coming down here.
That would have been a heck of a match just to see those two going at each other. Just put them on the line and let them butt heads and see who, you know.
A Big Daddy versus the Big Punch. I don't know who would have won that one there. But, you know, and they're both tremendous competitors, and they had those jerseys on. And, you know, Holyfield said, oh, man, mine fits me just nice. And Cecil said, well, you know, mine is a little bit tight.
We understand, Cecil.
So I told Cecil, I said, after the bank, we're going to go in the back. I'm going to take a couple snaps from him.
Let's talk about this Alabama A&M team, how they started the season. They lost to Jacksonville State in the opener, 9-3, beat Tennessee State 31-24. Lost to Grambling in a game you and I did, Jay. Beat Mississippi Valley, Prairie View, Texas Southern. Lost to Southern, beat Savannah State. Back to pass, Jackson throws incomplete. Overthrew the intended receiver downfield. Closest man to it was a white jersey, and the quarterback also paid the price after he let the ball go. That is Tavares Jackson, and we have a player shaking up downfield. The intended receiver, a little slow getting up, and that's the man with the touchdown reception, Brandon Harris. They're helping him off the field.
Yeah, they got to get him back, especially down here in the red zone, because, you know, they need him. He's a big target, a 6'5", and, you know, you saw talk about the quarterback getting pressure. Baldwin, the linebacker, did a good job of the blitz, of getting the ball, of getting to the quarterback quickly, not allowing Jackson to extend and throw a nice, firm, crisp pass, making him lob that ball to an open field.
3rd down, they'll work from the shotgun here on 3rd down and 7. Still trying to work from the shotgun because Gerald Harris, the 22-year-old senior from Mobile, Alabama, came up to make the stop. And Gerald Harris is an interesting story. Here's a young man who had heart surgery back in June. His heart was beating twice as fast, or he had 2 heartbeats. He was just cleared to play just before the season started.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's a great story.
Yeah, he wants to get at the football. And anytime football's ever taken away from you, you always come back a whole lot more hungry than you were before, because you realize nothing is promised to you. And with plays like that, you can realize he doesn't want football being taken from him anymore anytime soon.
So now with 25 seconds to go, a timeout's been called. Let's see who this has been called by. Alabama State. They're going to call the timeout. They're going to punt it away, and it may be something coach is wondering, do you really want to punt it? Or if you do, you know, you don't want to take a chance and get a block. Do you want to just take the ball and run it and let the clock run out? Hopefully, because Alabama A&M, they would have to go 60-some yards to get into the end zone.
Yeah, but one of the reasons why you want to punt it is because you got a kicker that's already made 3 field goals on you, and you already made one from 48 yards. And if you don't get it here and something bad happens, they only have to go about 30 yards in order to kick a field goal on you. The way they're kicking, you want to get Alabama A&M with as little points as possible before the half. So you got to play conservative and do the punt.
As you look there at Tony Pierce, who's taken over for Charles Coe. He's the defensive coordinator. Charles Coe is the offensive coordinator. Tony Pierce, who was an assistant at Georgia a year ago, now running the show right now, at least until Charles Coe gets back for Alabama A&M, Alabama State rather. Alabama A&M ready to return this punt. By Rothwell. Rothwell kicks it. They can't down it before it goes into the end zone. So it'll be brought out to the 20. First down and 10. Don't forget, next Saturday, a lot of action right here. We'll kick it off from Grambling, Louisiana, and the sports desk first. And then we'll be in Grambling, Louisiana at 2 p.m. for Grambling's homecoming. They're celebrated, hosting Western Division rival Texas Southern. Grambling is unbeaten in the conference play. Texas Southern just one loss in the division. And then on Sunday it's the Gold Bowl, CIAA showdown. Bowie travels to Richmond to take on Virginia Union. Bowie breaking into the top 10 in our poll this week. And then Clark Atlanta versus Morehouse in an SIAC matchup. So you don't want to miss 4 games next weekend right here on NBC. Nick Wells is the man in motion for first and 10. Bonds, who has had a rough day of it in terms of running. And it was Lane that came up with the stop. Mario Lane, as we come down to the end of the first half. Here, we're talking about Jeremiah Bonds. He has only 28 yards, less than 28 yards on, or 26 yards actually on 10 carries so far in the first half. So they held him pretty much in check. And we have a 9-7 ball game. Anthony Jones' team is out in front by 2 points as they go into the locker room here at halftime. And there he is, Anthony Jones, and he's down on the field with our Rob Jones right now.
Hey, Coach, you're leading 9-7 mainly because of your defense. Offense still struggling a little bit.
I mean, they have a very good defensive team. They have a very good football team. And, you know, for us to think that we can come up here and just run up and down the field on them and that kind of stuff, that's not going to happen. We got to play smart football. That's why we took the field goals that we had. We were good at that, and that gave us a lead. Now we got to come back. We're going to make a few adjustments. We're going to come back and try to do the same, keep them out the end zone, and see if we can hold on and build on this lead.
You talk about making some adjustments. What are you going to do offensively to start moving the ball down the field?
Well, we got to find some things to move the ball. We're going to look at a few more formations and make a few adjustments and try to move the ball.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach Jones. Back to you, Charlie.
All right, Rob, and Coach Anthony Jones' team ahead by 2 at halftime. When we come back, it'll be the Chrysler Battle of the Bands. We're in Birmingham for the Magic City Classic. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.